This game is good. Like, very good. As in, if you haven't played this game, you should go play this game right now good. Welcome to Hellmet, probably the most requested game since Deep Woken. I'm not entirely surprised that a ton of people have recommended this game to me because, well, if you've played it, you'd know that an incredible amount of work surely had to go into this game in order to make it happen. Not only that, but despite it being very clearly inspired by games like Ready or Not, it's not just a flat-out ripoff of those games, which, you know, on Roblox, that's kind of shocking. Because Hellmet is either in its early alpha or early beta stages, I don't want to do a comprehensive review on the game, mostly because the amount of content currently available in the game, well, it's pretty lackluster. But what is there is very obviously an extremely good base for, well, a very solid game. And so while I won't be doing a comprehensive review or giving a score at the end, what I can say right off the bat is that it's a really good game, it's only going to get better, and if you haven't played it, you should. With that out of the way, let's talk about, well, what is Hellmet? Hellmet is a slow-paced tactical shooter where you take your time clearing buildings and completing objectives. To aid you in that task, you're able to allot points before the mission starts for different gadgets that'll help you out. Things like a door camera that you can put under a door in order to see what's on the other side, or zip ties in order to zip tie hostages so they don't try anything. Generally speaking, your loadout is going to determine whether or not you succeed or fail, because if you go into a mission underprepared or bring the wrong stuff, you're gonna have a problem. That being said, I did notice that it seemed like there wasn't that huge of a difference on what you actually brought, and it seemed like for the missions that are currently available, there isn't necessarily recommendations of what you should bring, and so I ended up just bringing the same stuff onto every mission, and a lot of the things that you can use felt like they wouldn't be very helpful. But I also played the game on the standard difficulty, and I'm sure if you crank up the difficulty and you have two other friends to play with, then your actual gear selection would probably matter quite a bit more. In its current iteration, Hellmet has 3 levels, although one is a tutorial level. So, like I said, the content in its current state is not exactly there. The tutorial level, well, it does its job, for the most part. There were some things that were left out that I don't necessarily know if they were left out on purpose. Things like tripwire bombs that are on doors, where if you open it, it'll blow up and instantly kill you. That's not in the tutorial, and the only reason that I knew it existed was after I got killed by one, I got a little tooltip saying, hey, tripwires make a hissing sound, don't open the doors. But then I also ran into an issue later where I'm pretty sure that there was only one door that I had to go through in order to get to the next area, and it had a tripwire. And the game never tells you how to get past the tripwire without killing yourself. So I didn't know how to get past here, and I just had to basically blow myself up, die, and reset the level. And when I did, I was able to get through just fine. So part of me wonders if every single level is randomly generated in some capacity, which it seems like they were, and so I just sort of got soft locked because a bomb spawned on the door. I don't know if that's what happened. I don't know if there's a way past the bombs, but what I do know is that I couldn't figure it out, and that in of itself is kind of a problem. Now, I said it earlier that Hellmet can be played with 3 players, or up to 3 players, you and 2 others. And whether or not you choose to play with your friends or with randoms is going to make or break your experience. I already know it will make or break your experience. And the reason I know that is because I played 1 round with randoms. And oh my god, I will never play this game with randoms ever again. What the fuck, guys? Okay. Jesus Christ. Someone didn't get the fucking memo. Trigger discipline, assholes. Jesus Christ, man. What is wrong with you? Stop gunning down civilians. Oh, brilliant. Good job, guys. You, my friend, have absolutely no fucking clue how to play this game, do you? Don't shoot the civilian. Do not shoot the fucking civilian, I swear to God. Don't even think about it. He's thinking about it. Don't fucking do it. Yeah, zip ties, not shooting the civilians. Now we're learning. And you killed this fucking civilian. You are actually brain damaged. Don't become a cop. Whatever you do, please, for the love of God, when you grow up, do not become a police officer. Just kick down every door. All right, well, you killed one bad guy and a civilian. I guess that's worse than killing only civilians. Oh, what are you shooting at? Hey, look, a door control, and good job, guys. Did I just get killed through the wall? Oh, they spawned behind me. Oh, good. I should be playing this by myself. So I lost the one guy who I don't think was constantly shooting civilians, so now I'm left with only the fucking civilian murderer. That's not ideal. God damn, let me never play with that guy ever again. Jesus Christ. No civilians killed bonus. Yeah, it's a good thing we reset that fucking checkpoint. Yeah, let's just say that the future generation of our police and military, I hope they improve before they grow up, because that's, yeah, that's a little bit concerning. I ended up playing the rest of the game solo, which had its ups and downs. It's definitely infinitely harder playing the game solo, considering that, well, if you get shot and die, that's it. But you have the benefit of not having some idiots going down, kicking down every single door, making a shitload of noise, turning on the alarms over and over again, and getting shot in the face. I did notice a minor problem with the AI, which I feel like they can probably sort out relatively easily, and that was that even when you have people that surrender, sometimes you'll go over to zip tie them and they'll stand up in order to run away, and at least from what I could tell based on the tutorial, it tells you to shoot fleeing enemies, which in of itself is kind of fucked up. I don't know if they were going for a morality thing where it's like, well, that person might call for help, so you gotta kill him, but it doesn't really make any sense when I tell the NPC to surrender, and then I walk over to them and I have my zip ties out and I start tying them up, and midway through, they break the animation, stand up, and then don't even run away. They're just standing there. But I have to kill them because I can't tell them to get back down on the ground. And the reason I say that the game must want you to do this is because you don't get punished for shooting them. If they stand up and then just, you know, awkwardly stand there because their pathing doesn't work and they don't know where to run to, I guess, your only option is to shoot them in the face. That's so, like, that can't be right, surely. I also noticed that when it came to trying to make enemies surrender that had guns, it just basically wasn't worth it. When I was playing pretty early on, I would always try to make the enemies surrender first, because that just felt like the correct option. You know, you should give them a chance to surrender, and then if they try to pull a gun, you shoot them. But 99% of the time, they wouldn't surrender, and they would pull their guns and then immediately one-tap me. So eventually it just got down to, okay, that's a combatant. I'm going to kill the combatant no matter what, even if they're facing the other way. And again, it's one of those things where the game doesn't punish you for just gunning someone down in the back who doesn't have their weapon drawn. Which, again, it makes sense to some degree, but on the other hand, it's like, well, that doesn't feel right. And I feel like it's kind of one of those things where maybe the distance on your ability to shout people down should have been different. I'm not entirely sure how I would have done it differently, but it just feels kind of odd. In terms of progression, it's there. I don't know to what extent, because I didn't want to replay the same levels over and over again. Sorry, guys. But there was a skill tree. It looks like the skills would legitimately make impacts. And so I think when it comes to when there's more missions available, and if you wanted to play on higher difficulties, it's definitely going to make a difference here. Microtransactions, on the other hand, were absent, I think? Maybe? I don't know where the microtransactions are. If they're here, I couldn't find them, and that's always a good thing. But it also makes me worry, because all of the bad games fill their games with microtransactions. They're everywhere. It's nothing but microtransactions. And then you get good games, and I guess it stems from the fact that a lot of developers who are making good games want to make them for the sake of making a good game. But I also feel terrible every time, because the people making good games should be the ones that are actually making the money, not these scumbags that make Pet Simulator fucking 300,057, right? Or Adopt Me 25. Like, fuck those people. They shouldn't be making money. These people should. So I don't know where the microtransactions are at. I highly recommend that the developers just make a donate Game Pass just so that people can give them money. Because, I mean, just look at the idiots over at Souls RNG. They literally didn't make a game, and they've been paid out the ass by dumbasses who donate them Robux. So I don't see any reason why this game shouldn't have a donate button, and if the developers see this, I mean, go for it. You got nothing to lose, and you deserve to have people give you their money for making something that's not shit. Speaking of shit, the PvP mode. I've said a lot of good things about this game. The PvP mode is not one of them. It's not horrible, so I guess saying it's shit isn't totally fair, but it's also very clearly tacked on. A lot of the mechanics are just kind of strange, and I'm also very biased when it comes to these games because, generally speaking, I am not a fan of third-person multiplayer shooters, and I'm really not a fan of third-person tactical multiplayer shooters with fast time to kills. Because what that usually ends up leading to is you have people that just sit around corners with their camera around the corner, they wait till they see you, and you inevitably push, and they go, whoop, swing the corner, blast you, and you're dead. And that's just never fun. Thankfully, because it's Roblox, a lot of people aren't actually playing this because they don't think enough to realize that that's a broken, overpowered, and unfun strategy. But seriously, these third-person shooters or third-person tactical shooters, you can stall for an eternity, play ultra defensive, and it's just not very interesting to play. And the game's maps itself, I played 3 rounds, and it only put me on 2 maps. I don't know if there are more maps. I don't really think it matters if there are more maps because the 2 maps that were available were just kind of sort of bad. Admittedly, the house map seemed better than the crates map, but the crates map was horrific. It was like a 2-lane map with a whole lot of areas with no cover where people would just sit with sniper rifles. The buy rounds are super, super strange with certain weapons costing weird amounts compared to others. Like there's a shotgun and it costs $2,000. And when I used it, it just didn't seem at all like it was worth the amount that it costs compared to just buying an SMG, an assault rifle, or one of the friggin' pistols. I kept getting one-shot by pistols. I don't know if they were headshotting me or if the pistols are just ultra strong. But like, if the pistol is better than the shotgun and the shotgun costs $2,000, I don't know what's going on there, man. Something's off. The last thing that I really want to say about Hellmet is context clues and good tutorials and showing you how game mechanics work without directly telling you how the game mechanics work. And the best example of this in Hellmet is right towards the end in the current final mission of the game. You go down into this room and you see somebody who says they forgot their mask. They try to get into a room, they can't open the door, and they die. And then you get a timer at the top of the screen. You get to hear a little radioactive crackle. I don't really know how to explain that. And it's very, very obvious that when this timer runs down, you need to be in one of those rooms or you'll die. The game doesn't tell you if the timer runs down, get into one of those rooms or you'll die. But you know it because you can use context clues to figure those things out. And this is one of those things that countless Roblox games don't do, and it pisses me off. I have no problem if the game just told you, get into the room before the timer expires or you die. But if you don't want to do that and you want to let players figure it out for themselves, you can also do that without telling them absolutely fucking nothing. In a lesser game, I guarantee you that I would go down into this room, there would not be an NPC that tried to claw into the room. The room would not have text on it saying respirator room. It would just have, I don't know, maybe a blue light. And the developers would expect you to figure out that when the timer runs down, you need to be in a room with a blue light or you die. That's not good design. That's not good context clues. That's borderline guessing. And that's the kind of thing that I run into time and time again when I'm playing crappy games. So thank you to this game for not being a crappy game.